It's time to mind your business with me, Jamila Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.
Hello, Zayne. How are you?
Hello, Kelsey.
How you doing today?
Can't complain. Life is good.
Yes. All right. Well, welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast. We're happy to have you on today and excited to be talking about your business.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. So first, we're going to start off with who is Zayne? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'll start by saying one interesting fact about me is, I guess I'm a sustainable activist.
Okay.
So, I've had the pleasure of working with some amazing people and companies around the island on some of the sustainable projects. So, it's something I wasn't really into before I started my business, but once I did, I just fell in love with the whole, everything about sustainability. And I feel like, climate change and all the other, prevalent issues when it comes to, the 21st century's problems, coastal deterioration and stuff.
Okay.
It's just something that I feel like is one of the biggest problems my generation's facing. So, I'm just blessed to have such a sense of direction of, going that road. So.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your business, and then I guess we'll talk more about how your business sort of coincides with your activism and how you were led down that path.
Alrighty, well, yeah, my business is Sinclair Sowing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's edible gardening business. So we construct, cultivate, and maintain home edible gardens for people that want to grow their own vegetables. And I guess it has a direct correlation with sustainability and stuff, because it allows me to kind of work on different initiatives around the island around food insecurity and agriculture and stuff like that.
Wow. So the type of business that you decided to start has led you into just being a leader and making connections and hopefully cultivating change.
Yeah. Basically.
So how did that come about? Why entrepreneurship and why that specific industry?
Well, I guess we'll go back to high school. So I wanted to originally, pursue the medical field. So I was doing an internship at the King Edward Memorial Hospital through organizational development.
Okay.
And I was doing diagnostic imaging. And then, I really wanted to pursue the medical field. And then, unfortunately, the pandemic hit about a month into the internship. And then I just started the medical field. This wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So through the pandemic, a lot of the things we were doing was, gardening and stuff. And my father's Jamaican. So in Jamaica, we have a farm. So, agriculture and, gardening has always been something a part of, very important part of my life. So, through the pandemic, I really started to get into it. I was eating a lot of healthy vegetables, lost some weight that I may or may not have put back on by now. But, it's been, I loved it, honestly. And then I did the BDC summer student program.
Yes.
And then, I was like, what's a business I could start with the tools I've got, the knowledge I've got now? Doesn't really need any startup cost. And then I just was like, what if I just made home gardens for people? I did it, and it was a success.
Yeah, perfect. So after doing it for a little bit, how long has the business been in operation?
About 2.5 years.
Okay, awesome. So after doing it for a little bit, how did you determine that, hey, I'm onto something, this is actually needed in Bermuda?
Yeah, well, I would say probably the very beginning of my business.
Yeah?
I had a very beautiful write-up in the paper, and it just blew me off the water. I had about over 150 people reach out to me. I didn't get to all the gardens, but I had people calling my phone for about people still recognize me in the streets, like, oh, you had that article in the paper. And it just really just made me understand, this is something people's really interested in. And in the pandemic, a lot of people were gardening all around the world. People really got interested in that type of stuff. And then when I started my business, it was just I saw the constant interest in it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm definitely onto something. But I guess what really made me stick with it is recently I taking my gap year from college right now, and I was just working, doing the business, doing some of those projects I mentioned to you about with different organizations and stuff. And then I just really started to fall in love with it. I'm like, this is kind of what I want to do for the rest.
Nice.
For the foreseeable future.
Okay. So for those that don't know or aren't familiar with Sinclair's seed sowing, what is the process? If I wanted a garden, I wanted to get it from you, what happens? How does it work?
Well, you would reach out, call me or slide up on my Instagram or, LinkedIn, hit me up on email. And then, we would schedule a date. I'll come, consult, look at the garden. They would tell me what they want, if they want it elevated or like just kind of, cultivating it to their wants and needs.
Yeah.
I draw up a garden plan for them, give it to them, give them a quote, and then they would let me know when they're ready to get started. They're ready to get started immediately. We'll start pretty soon, as soon as possible, and then, we'll create it, and then they'll let me know what they're looking for, if they want me to maintain it throughout the whole year, all the seasons, or if they just want me to come spontaneously, just check up on them, or if they just need help. I'm just there to like kind of help them where they need it. It's not all or nothing. It's just whatever they feel like they need assistance in.
Okay, so if I have a garden and it just needs to be like refurbished, you'll come and like start me off with like lots of new seedlings and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And is it just edible gardens, or do you do like flowers and things like that as well?
It's so funny. I've moved into flowers this past year. I actually joined the Garden Club of Bermuda. So they do flower arrangements and floral art and stuff. And I really, fell in love with that too. A lot of things, it's the kind of, there are different, obviously, flowers and vegetables, but, some correlations between the two, obviously, being plants and stuff. And I really saw, I'm like, okay, this is kind of nice, and I like it. And so I've done some things like, doing floral arrangements for events and stuff, and even renting them out.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds like you're growing a business. It's like another opportunity for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So throughout the 2 years, what have you found challenging so far about being an entrepreneur?
Well, I'll start off from when I first started from high school to now. I would say one of the biggest problems that originally faced me was I was 17, so I had my bike. I was in high school, so that's 8:30 to 3:30 all day, and then around this time it gets dark early, so it was not really a lot of things I could do in the weekday. I could only really work on Sundays or Saturdays, and my father and my mother would be taking me around in our van to my clients. And to be honest, I recently got my license in November, so I am driving now. But for all that time before then, they were taking me everywhere.
Okay.
And something I used to do, I used to like put all my tools in my locker at Barclay, and I would kind of like not sneak out of school, but I would like leave school early to try to get to my clients before the traffic and stuff, and like ask the security and my teacher, not just snitch on them or nothing, but to ask them, can you let me out, a little early, just so I could like get all my teachers see me on my bike, all this stuff on my back, between my legs, carrying all my tools and stuff.
Running your business.
Yeah, so that was one of the initial challenges, and then applying for colleges, growing up, I thought I wanted to move away originally, and I'm like, let me do Bermuda College for a bit, and I started Bermuda College. College isn't like high school, it's not as easy, I didn't have as much leeway. It was like, I have more free time to an extent, but it works harder, I need to focus on it more, so after that, I was like, okay, something's got to give. So I decided to take my gap year, and here we are.
Here you are. Okay. Very good. So, in working in your business now, what's something that you find challenging, like specifically about being an entrepreneur?
I would say something I originally thought I was good at, but up until now I realized I need a bit more practice is my time management. Life comes at you from all directions. Sometimes things pop up, in a blink of an eye, and you're like, okay, now I need to go to this client still, but I need to handle this, and then still need downtime and time to actually work on the business and grow and all the other things that life, entails. So I would say, definitely time management and time blocking and the discipline to actually like show up for myself and be like, okay, regardless if I'm tired or fatigued or, all that stuff, I need to do what needs to be done. So it's a learning process. I'm trying my very best. Yeah. But, it's a process. I'm really enjoying the journey. So I can't complain.
Awesome. So what separates your business from other similar types of businesses in the same industry?
I would say, I'll take a spin on that question and say, to be honest, I feel like me as an entrepreneur is what, sets me apart. Yeah. Right now I find my business as an extension of myself, and I know how to carry myself and how to like I said, I'm in love with sustainability. So like it kind of opens up so much more doorways for me when I'm really like, kind of representing myself and my business, of course, like I said, as an extension of myself. So I would say I'm still young, so I have a lot of opportunities to learn. I'm open to, learning and, working with other businesses and seeing how they do things. I'm not, I don't know it all. I'm not an expert. Yeah. So just kind of being open to education
Yeah.
and, learning and new opportunities and stuff allows me to kind of pivot when needs to, add new streams of, income to my business. Like I mentioned, I've done floral arrangements and stuff like that. So if I wasn't open to, trying new things and, learning new things and joining new organizations or like clubs to like teach me these things, I feel like, my business would have been stagnant and I would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah,
So.
that's something really important for entrepreneurs to understand, and it's hard to grasp. Especially in Bermuda, people always think, oh, well, there's a lot of shoe stores or there's a lot of salons, and they get nervous and they shy away from maybe their dream of opening a business. But what you do have to understand is nobody's going to run your business like you are.
That's right.
Right? You're a unique person. You have different ideas. You could do it a different way. So even if there are people that already exist in the industry, no one's going to do it like Zayne's going to do it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on that, I would say I'm, starting my business at a time of like, innovation, technology. Like a lot of the things I have at my, fingertips, a lot of these, people that's been in business for 20, 30 years or how long, they didn't have this. So, I'm starting out with so much more opportunities and ways to innovate my business and, watching them, their mistakes, what they've done, them giving me advice, them being, people in my industry that are a bit older, more experienced, got more skin in the game. So, I just feel like that is definitely something that puts me apart. I'm not too tech savvy, but, I know how to, use certain things to my advantage, and it's really made running my business so much easier.
Perfect. I'm really happy to hear that. So a lot of people right now, it's super hot topic. They're worried about food security, rising costs, and all of that sort of stuff. So how can your business sort of alleviate some of those worries or help out in that sort of situation?
Well, like I said before, people look at, agriculture and growing their own food as kind of like a all or nothing type thing, but it's not that. It's you've got to kind of pick up the parts of it that you think you can handle, and if that looks like, I don't know, if you live a very fast lifestyle, you don't really have time to cook, or you meal prep or whatever that looks like. Growing vegetables that kind of complement that lifestyle, more like a salad garden that you can make prep meals from, and that that would save you money in a way. But I would say definitely kind of self-analyzing your, obviously your finances and your lifestyle, and kind of looking at agriculture or sustenance farming, growing your own food in a way that it's like, hey, what can I handle? What can I take on? What can I do? What do I even want to eat? Kind of, you also need to expand your palate, because a lot of things grow good here, but if you're kind of closed-minded to trying new things, that would just kind of ruin the experience in my opinion. So I would say the more people kind of support local farmers, support the lifestyle, get involved, then everybody's kind of benefiting from that. Like I said, if you support your local farmers, you're giving them your money before the supermarkets or something like that. That will kind of increase their capital eventually. As they're making more money, their produce will go down and stuff like that. Then that would equal cheaper cost of produce and stuff. So it's a lot to it. But I would say my business really would help somebody who is looking to grow food, to save them some money, and kind of setting up for them if they want that, growing the vegetables for them. But like I said, they would really have to kind of be open to the entire experience, to really get the full advantage out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I love the convenience of it, right? So if you come, you do a garden for me, and you can grow different vegetables throughout the season, and then you come and you maintain that. Because I think what a lot of people, like, what stops them from doing it is maybe they don't have the time, or they think it's a complicated process, and where they're like, oh, well, I know nothing about gardening. I don't but you bridge that gap, right? Coming to their house and just setting it up all for them, which is great. And so they don't have to go to the grocery store. They can have the potatoes right outside their yard.
Exactly,
right? Yeah, so I think that's definitely something that's really, really cool about Sinclair's.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
The garden is a very therapeutic experience too.
Yeah, that too.
It really helps come home and just de-stress, get out in the garden, pick your own vegetables and stuff, and it tastes better in my opinion. Definitely, fresh grown vegetables tastes the best versus like anything you can get in the store.
Okay. And so what sorts of things do grow in Bermuda? You said a lot. Is there anything that, is it seasonal? How does it all work?
Yeah, well, our growing season starts in September and ends
Okay.
around March. But, the varieties of vegetables that grow here are so vast. We have such a unique climate.
Right.
We have the, winter season and then, the summer season. So I would say, like, more so, like, vining vegetables, cucumbers, pumpkins, squash and stuff grows in the summer. And then you have your leafy greens, like vegetables, like lettuce, kale, bok choy, mustard greens and the carrots and all that type of stuff. Beets, onions around this time. But the list is, I could go on forever. A lot of things grow. So, a lot of people don't know that. They think,
No.
we can't really grow a lot of things here, but we
Yeah.
could grow so much. So, like, like I said, if people do their research and, understand, what grows here and what vegetables are even out there, then they could, kind of incorporate that into their garden, try different things, and really sustain themselves. You really can do it,
So would you say that education is part of your business plan?
Yes.
And
definitely.
especially with reaching people, because a lot of people don't know. I don't know everything that you can grow here, or like, to me, from my perspective, it just seems really hard. But from your perspective, it's like, no, let me make this accessible for you and teach you how to do this. So how do you find bridging the gap between people that are just like, no, this isn't accessible, and you're just like, yes, it actually is, let me show you?
Yeah, I would say definitely it is my plan to kind of expand more in that in the future, hopefully kind of educating people efficiently. Right now it's more so in the consultant phase when I first meet them is, telling them, what grows, giving them a list of, the vegetables in season, how much space they require. So if they don't have a large space, telling them, this is what I think would, work well in the space you have, and letting them know that a lot of people think, oh, I can't grow this because it's, they're next to the ocean, it gets a lot of sun and wind. But letting them know, okay, you could grow these vegetables and, it could work out right here.
Okay.
So letting them know, it just depends on the space they have. And even if they don't have the space, there's so much ways you could grow vegetable now. You could grow it inside in a, sunny area next to a window, or even if you get a hydroponic system or something. I don't personally do that, but even if they don't want to go with my services, I still help them to find something that, may work for them,
Love that. Love that. So I want to switch gears a little bit. You talked briefly about being a part of BDC's summer student program, but now you are in our Enterprise Bermuda program, which is an incubator program for businesses trying to start and grow. So why did you apply to that program, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
Well, I originally applied. I knew I was taking my gap year this year, and I was like, whoa, this would be a wonderful opportunity in my, downtime to, really be a part of a program that I feel like will, really boost my business and really accelerate the process that, kind of help me get where I want to go. So I decided, let me sign up. I already have experience. I'm always, talking to people from BDC. Like you mentioned, I was in the summer student program, so I'm always, attended some courses and stuff, and I'm always loved the vibe. And, you guys are, there to help us. So, I needed the help. So I was like, what, I can't do everything by myself. I need to join. I need some experience. I need to also meet other entrepreneurs, because it's not too many young entrepreneurs around the island. But, there's still, a good amount. But, it kind of gets a bit lonely when, you don't really have anybody to speak to about business and, your stresses and stuff. So definitely join this course. And I was like, I want to be surrounded by more entrepreneurs. I, really feel like that would help me. And it has helped me.
Perfect. What has been your biggest takeaway so far from the program?
Also to piggyback on what I said, I need a team. I can't do everything by myself.
Yep.
I was trying to, juggle, like I said, school and, accounting. I didn't even know about, this is my first job. My business was my first introduction to money through high school, and now I've been trying my best to, kind of be smart with my money. But, saving isn't going to get me where I need to go. I need to invest. I need to do different things, with my finances. So definitely coming here and, a lot of people in my cohort are actually, that's their skills, helping people with their accounts and finances and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of networking with those people helped me to grow my business. So that's exactly why I'm here, to meet other people, kind of, lean on them when I need support and stuff like that. So that definitely is one of the key takeaways for me.
Yeah, and you definitely get like access to resources and all the things that you need, different tools.
And I actually live near the Northeast Hamilton hub, so I'm always there. It's very useful for me. That's where I meet, possible employees. Sometimes, clients come there. Sometimes they need to get away from home or somewhere quiet. I just go there.
Yeah.
So it's very, very useful. So
what are your plans? You mentioned employees. What does the next like 2 or 3 years look like for Sinclair's?
Well, in 2 3 years time, I hope by then I have some type of commercial spacing.
Okay.
So like, right now I work out of my house. So I have a greenhouse there. That's where I grow my plants and stuff. Hopefully I could expand, really kind of get the infrastructure I need to, run my business efficiently.
Yeah.
And like you said, I need a team. Like I need, people to help me out. I can't do everything. I need to delegate some tasks, and I have other endeavors I want to pursue. Like I said, I'm working on different projects sometimes. So doing that and working on the business, and life is really is a lot sometimes. So I need people that can, I lean on for support.
Yeah.
It's so important in business, and it's something that I'm thankful I'm learned early. I really need. I can't be cheap. I can't do everything by myself. I need to make sure I invest in my employees too, and definitely looking at them kind of more like partners.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully they believe in the vision as well. They're as passionate about agriculture and sustainability as me, and we could really create something beautiful and change the island for the better.
Perfect. And so you mentioned that you're doing a gap year now. So do you have intentions to go to school abroad, or could go back to school? And if so, has your mindset switched from medical and more into agriculture?
Oh,
How does that?
I would say right now I'm still at the college, doing night classes.
Okay.
But through PACE. And I want to pursue my PMP certification for project management.
Oh, okay.
So I really feel like, that would help me significantly. And it's so much through starting this business and, kind of growing up a bit, I realized there's so many untraditional methods of education, and I kind of had that societal pressure to kind of pursue a degree and move away and kind of work for somebody else. But I'm like, that's not really the path I envision for myself. And in this day and age, you don't really need to do that.
Yeah, experience is often the best teacher.
Exactly, and it's still ways to get certificates and diplomas through 3-month or 6-month programs, and that allow me to travel to different countries and see what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of opportunities out there for education that it doesn't look like going to school for 4 years and in that type of intensive program that we kind of take away from my business and the things I'm doing now. I don't want to have to sacrifice that.
Yeah.
So I just came to the conclusion that college isn't in my kind of foreseeable future. But I'm always open to like and maybe I get a degree one day. But right now I want to focus on my business and like some other programs.
And entrepreneurship is definitely a viable option. That's something that we always try to encourage at BEDC. It's that you don't always have to take the traditional route, right? Entrepreneurship can be really great for people, and you don't have to always go and get the degree. You have your business, and it's working out for you, and it's going to be a really great teacher, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm learning so much. It's been like a life changer, honestly. Like, my life from before I started business to now has done a complete 360. My friends, always tell me, and my family, I'm not perfect, but I've definitely came a long way in my opinion. So I'm happy. Happy for myself. I'm proud of myself, and it's just been an amazing journey, and like I'm just so in love with it, and like I'm blessed to have such a strong sense of direction at such a young age, and be able to wake up and be like, okay, I'm going to. It's a little hard, and I'm facing a lot of problems, but I love it. Like I wouldn't do nothing else.
For sure. Like entrepreneurship is definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's a process that if you stick with it, it will definitely be fruitful. So what is one thing that you have like struggled with most as a young entrepreneur?
I would say that transition from high school to college with my business, I experienced like a burnout.
Yeah.
And it was like, before that, like when I first started my business, I was so energetic. I had so much energy and and then to see how that could completely be like depleted after like a burnout is it just honestly it's been tough.
Yeah.
So kind of picking up the pieces and kind of not starting from scratch, but just kind of looking at it from a different angle and realizing like I have a plan, but that plan's going to change constantly, and just not really getting too attached to it and just being open to all the opportunities that are coming my way, all the downfalls and losses that are going to come my way, just being open to everything. And I feel like allowing myself to kind of feel those emotions and kind of ride out those waves and go with the flow just allows me to kind of like handle all those problems and, you know, battles I may be facing so much more organically, you know?
Yeah, for sure. What is some advice that you would give to your younger self or a younger person who is interested in getting into entrepreneurship?
I would say definitely lean on your friends. You know, when I first went into business, I was like, you know, I don't want to really involve any of my friends in this. And I still don't. I still haven't. But I feel like if I just did from the get-go, and even if I do now, I feel like that would just allow me to maybe help, like, you know, give them an opportunity as well as myself. Of like, you know, we could create something together. And, you know, I just, you know, when you need help and stuff. But I would also say lean on your friends and just be authentic, be yourself. Any business you do, like, just if you don't have a innate passion for it, then just, I would say, you know, be careful. But if you really love what you do, or you really pursue a business, start a business in something that you're really passionate about, just, you know, nurture yourself, invest in yourself so you don't get burnt out. You know, if that looks like, you know, taking a mental health day, or, you know, taking yourself out to lunch, or kind of being your own support system, or, you know, reaching out, go to a therapist, something, you know, and definitely invest in yourself where you need it. And lastly, I would definitely say, you know, there's so much people on the island, entrepreneurs, teachers, regular people that just want to help young people. A lot of young people feel like there's nothing here for us, and there's no opportunities. It's, you know, Bermuda's just boring, and I want to go away because it's more out there for me, which is, you know, it's not a lot. It's also stuff out there for you, but, you know, I feel like it's so much here that goes
like unnoticed.
Yes. You know what I mean? And it's just.
Yeah. And as a business owner, you have the opportunity to make your own opportunities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely can make choices, and if you see something that is missing, step up.
Exactly. So I say, you know, closed mouths don't get fed. Ask around, look for the opportunities, make your own opportunities if you don't see anything for yourself, and that's, you know, where, you know, you'll see change. You'll see, you know, your business take off. You'll just see your life change for the better.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice. Is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with about Sinclair's? Where can they find you? Anything that you want to leave them with?
I would say, you know, reach out to me on my social medias if you're interested in the space, you're interested in sustainability, if you just, you know, are feeling lost in, you know, entrepreneurship, and you just kind of need any help, or you need somebody to talk to, anything like that, you know, definitely reach out to me. You know, I'm here to help in any way I can, and, you know, make a new friend or something. So, you know, I'm just, like I said, I'm in love with the journey, and I really hope, like, I get to really make the island a better place, and hopefully the world. So that's all I got to say, I think.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Zayne of Sinclair's Seed Sowing. I think it's super cool. I love plants. I love gardening. So, like, I'm all for the business, and I really hope that people listening and watching will definitely check you out.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on Mind Your Business, because if you don't mind your business, who will?
That's right.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamila Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.